Hi, my name's Cordy, and all I want for Christmas is a reliable and robust method of getting bloodstains out of carpet, obviously. Right, so in this video I'm going to be talking about some triad stuff. We've been talking about spread triads for a while, mostly because Thomas has been asking me about it. On Patreon I've got kind of sheets for this stuff and tabs for each of the lessons, but so far we've talked about the major scale, we've talked about the harmonic minor scale and the melodic minor scale. And in this lesson I wanted to talk a little bit about sort of putting it together maybe, and also starting to work on inversions. So the first thing to say is that so you've got a G spread triad here. I think you can see that. So we've got the root, the fifth and the third in the top. The first inversion of this, we'd have the third in the bass, so a B, then the root, and then the fifth, which would look like that. So there'll be one more, and that would have the fifth, the D, the third, and then the root. So it's worth finding those for each, and then working those out on each string set. And obviously the same is also true for minor. So that kind of so doing this will probably take a little bit of time to figure these out, but I think it's worth doing. So then what I would suggest doing is say to yourself, right, I'm going to be imagining I'm in G major, and just pick any of the chords of G major and move between the two. So for this example I'm just going to pick 1 and 4. You could do any of them that you like, and I would suggest that'd be a good thing to do, so also switch up the orders and stuff. So chord 1 of G major is G, obviously, and then chord 4 is C major. So what we're going to do is start in one place on the neck and try and join up first of all with the closest thing, and then move that around in inversions. So here's a G triad. The closest C triad will be here, I think. So we've got a C in second inversion there. That happens to be the closest. We've got G in first. Right, so then we can move that up, and then the next G is here. So we've got a B, a G, and a D in the top. So where's our closest C triad to this? Right there. Okay, so and then logically the next thing we could do, here's our G in first inversion, and then a C in first inversion, so different ways to voice or finger that last one. Okay, and do that with as many kind of things as you fancy, and also try it in the different string sets. So here's G again, the C, and then the G in first inversion, and then C, and then another G in second inversion, and then a C in first inversion. So that's one really useful exercise, I think, and it can help you to start to kind of visualize those shapes and the way things join up. You can try it as well. Let's try it with a major and a minor. So I can do G major, and we'll choose chord 6, E minor. Okay, then so we ended up with the closest E minor would be in first inversion as well. Then G in first inversion, and we need an E minor. Okay, so that's an E minor in second inversion, and then G in second inversion, and then the E minor. Okay, so that kind of thing again. And it can really help you to visualize where the third, fifth and root are on each of these kind of shapes, because you're having to move I'm having to move the fifth in this particular case, so the fifth degree of the G is the D, and the difference between a G triad and an E minor triad is just that one note. Okay, so do that with as many combinations as you fancy, and you know, you can obviously start from 1, go all the way up to 7, and any combination of those. So you know, you could do a chord 3 and a chord 6, a chord 2 and a chord 7, all that kind of stuff. Then the next thing to do, so I'm working on a tune called How Deep Is the Ocean this week, and so what I'm going to do with this kind of thing is, it starts off with a C minor, and then I think we go to an A flat triad, and then a G7 triad, and then we have another C minor, and then I think we have a A minor 7 flat 5 to a D triad, and then to a G minor triad. So just for example, and I'll write this out, is I would try and find a few ways to voice those really closely together, trying to avoid the movement, and this will be a way for me to practice my spread triads, but also hopefully help me to hear the harmony of the tune and help me to visualize the tune in a different kind of way. So C minor, and then we need our closest A flat major, which I think will be here. So we go from a C minor in root position to an A flat major, and then can drop that down to a, so you'd have options for each of these. You can either move up for the G7 or down, so chromatically down, G7, or and now we need to move to our closest A minor 7 flat 5. So we got a and E flat and a C. So we have a C in the bass now, and then so that immediately sounds to me like a useful thing to know. So C minor, and then an A minor 7 flat 5 but in first inversion, and then I want a D triad. So that's immediately quite a and then a G minor in second inversion. So working on these kind of close, efficient maybe efficient kind of spread triads that are moving closely together through a tune, I think could be a really useful way to get your head around the tune and also improve fretboard knowledge and all that sort of stuff. So I'll just try it down here. So we need a C minor, then an A flat, and then a G7. So I'm going to try and get, okay, and then the C minor again. That's in first inversion, so I could maybe move that one down before I do the next thing. Then I need that A minor 7 flat 5, and then a D triad, and then so literally you could do that through the entire tune, and I think that would be a good way to spend sort of any time you're working on a standard or anything. Spend time working through it in that way. Anytime that I actually do this, when I can discipline myself to do it or motivate myself, I find it super useful, and by kind of thinking in this way and giving yourself these like little restrictions, you can actually find some really useful ways to make your way through the tune, and it helps just to visualize and hear the thing. So that's what I'd suggest trying. So first of all, just pick 2 chords from the same key. So I was doing it in G major initially, so like chord 1 and 4 are good ones to start with, and see where the shared notes are and see how you can keep the inversions close to each other. Then maybe choose a major and a minor as well, so you go from like G major to either chord 2, 3 or 6, and try all those combinations and in different keys as well. And then pick a jazz standard, or you know, whatever you want, and start to try and do this exercise through that. So maybe pick the first 4 bars of a tune and kind of work it out. It will take time, but I think it's useful time. Hopefully this was vaguely interesting. I've got my coffee here. You could use the buy me a coffee link if you've got something useful out of this, but absolutely don't feel obliged. Only do that if you can afford to and if you wanted to. Hopefully this sort of video does interest you. If you want to hit the like and subscribe button, there's every Friday a lesson on chords and that stuff. I'll put up the tab on Patreon once I get a chance to kind of write these ideas down. I think hopefully they should be fairly useful, and also on Sunday there'll be more on this tune, How Deep Is the Ocean, if you're interested in that. But most of all, thank you for stopping by. If you could leave a comment and say if you found this useful, and hit the like button, I think that helps other people kind of discover the channel if they want to. Thank you for stopping by. Cheers.